Hello and welcome to today's video. In today's video I'm going to be discussing how to do a pitch. The homework for this video is to read the book that is listed below, Pitch Anything by Orin Claffer. What I'll do is I'll leave the link to the audiobook and the paperback in the description, so there's no excuse for you not to read it if you're interested in learning how to pitch. So, right, without further ado, to the main topic. To do a good pitch, you need to know, why are you pitching? A lot of people get this wrong and end up doing quite badly in a pitch because they bog down the pitch with statistics, financial information, and other stuff that isn't really appropriate to put in a pitch. And by it isn't really appropriate, I don't mean that it is rude to put those things in pitches. You don't put that type of information in a pitch because normally the person or organisation you're pitching to will already know that information. So if you've got a pitch to get startup capital for a business from a hedge fund or something, apologies, I have a racetrack outside my house apparently. The hedge fund or financial institution normally will have done due diligence on you. You wouldn't be doing the pitch if the idea you had wasn't financially viable. So what you need to do in a pitch is essentially sell yourself in terms of you are competent enough to make this happen and you know what you're doing and talking about. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have financial information to hand or know the basic numbers before going into a pitch. You should do. But you shouldn't bog down your pitch with that type of information. What you essentially need to do in a pitch is make whoever's giving you the money, the investment managers or whoever, believe that you are competent enough and experienced enough to give this a go and make this business work. That is why you're pitching. What should your goal be when you're going into a pitch? As I previously said, in most cases the financial information will have already been given and looked over by the institution. In some cases that isn't the case, but we'll address that later. When going into a pitch, your goal should be to make the investors feel excited about investing in your business or potential business and make them feel and believe that you're clever enough and experienced enough to make the business work. So if the investors leave the investors meeting with confidence in you and they're excited about investing in your company, then you've done well. You've done very well. How do you structure a pitch? I've said that you don't put a lot of financial information and that type of jargon in a pitch because quite frankly there isn't time. Your pitch shouldn't be longer than 20 minutes. Ideally it should be shorter because when you're pitching something you need the attention or the full attention of your audience, and most people can give their attention for a maximum of 20 minutes. So if it's any longer than that, they're going to start to drift in terms of their attention. And you also need to consider that you'll be pitching in an environment when the investors have seen a bunch of other pitches that day. Take Dragon's Den, for example. What happens is people do their pitches and go in one after the other. So if you're going at the end of the day, the dragons are going to be tired and their attention spans will begin to wane. So you need to be snappy. And you need to have a structure that will make it easy for the investors to understand. So the structure I would recommend is ring composition. This is for two reasons. Ring composition is a very good structure to help the audience digest and understand complicated information. Also, with ring structure, you repeat yourself or you revisit topics throughout the course of the speech, in this case a pitch. This is good because it will improve the chances of the investors remembering certain aspects of the business. If you don't know what ring composition is, please check it out. But I'm going to make some suggestions on what you'd put in for your pitch. So I've said that you don't want a bunch of financial information in your pitch. So what I'd recommend is have one point or one theme of the speech be the positive role that your business is going to have on the wider community in the world. Also maybe discuss the positive impact that your business is going to have on the employees. And then once you've done those two themes and explained what positive impacts and why those positive impacts are going to happen or are a good thing, you circle back around and repeat the themes and go how, and be more detailed. This is how the company is going to have a positive impact. For example, if you're pitching a company that sells reusable or really cheap and really easy to make and decomposable plastic bags, what you'll be able to say in that is this business will rapidly improve water quality and wildlife, because if you've got plastic bags that are decomposable, a turtle isn't going to eat it and suffocate. So that's a positive impact, and you want to include things like that and build your pitch around things like that. If people want me to do an example script for a pitch, I can do that. Just email me or leave it in the comments. As you may have guessed, your language for a pitch needs to be very emotive. It needs to make people feel good and excited about giving you money and being a part of your business. So really, you want to, before you do your pitch, maybe write a script or write down what you're going to say, get a thesaurus out and find more emotive versions of the adjectives and words and phrases you want to use. What this will do, and using emotional language, is it will ensure that the audience, or in this case the investors, are as excited as humanly possible about investing in you. It's important to do something or not let the investors do things while you're pitching. So if you're doing a pitch that is 15 minutes, you don't want your investors to be looking through the brochure and not giving you their full attention. So what you do is you go through, maybe give them the brochures to your company while you're setting up the PowerPoint or whatever it is you need. Then what you do is you use the PowerPoint, right, but you go and take the brochures before you start your pitch, because that way they'll be paying the most amount of attention to what you're saying. Secondly, you don't want them to ask questions midway through your pitch. So you say before, please can you save any questions until the end. Sometimes what some people will do, some investors, they'll ask you questions midway through the pitch to throw you off and see if they can throw you off. So don't let them do that. Say before, and if someone does try to interrupt you with a question, say I'll answer it at the end. There are actually lawyers who do this. It's not really recommended for lawyers because judges don't like this, and for lawyers there's a different reason why you want to answer a question that a judge says at the time. But for pitches you can certainly do it, certainly put off a question until the end, especially if you're the one pitching, especially if you've always said. That brings what I'm about to say to a close, so thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. As I say, the homework is to read the book. Read the book!